Okay, so this is my service learning project presentation. I am doing it by myself because um, my partner could not be involved with this. She was busy. This was the only day that I was available to do it as well. So she's going to work on other parts of the project, and I'm going to go ahead and do the presentation. So the group we picked was DMARC. It is a food bank, warehouse. They also do food trucks. They ship food to other places as well. They were founded in 1952 with a cooperation from 13 local churches at the time. They now have over 125 congregations and settings where they have the main warehouses that they ship to other places. Um, they currently use four faith traditions. They've got Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and Unitarian. So basically, they just kind of work together to meet basic needs for the greater Des Moines area right now, the whole community. They ship to all the places outside of Des Moines as well, like Ankeny. There's some places in Altoona that I know they ship to. Um, so they use child care assistance, the food pantry. They've got the food trucks. They cater to all ages and genders. They generally serve about 34,000 people a year, which is amazing as far as helping with uh, the needs of the community. Um, so the underserved that they ship to, they get a lot of food donations. What we do when we go to DMARC is we've done it together and we've done it separately. Um, we go there, we get the donations, we count them, we organize, and we put them in boxes based on expiration dates, where they can go, different types of food. They also have like sanitary stuff like paper towels, napkins, things like that. Um, After it's all sorted and boxed, um, we get everything together and separate them onto pallets, and we fulfill the orders for places that we ship the food to. Um, the project was pretty tough in the beginning. I love the food sorting part. That's not terrible, except for the constant bending over to get the stuff out of the big old boxes. Um, but it was a lot of fun putting the stuff together and putting it out on the pallets. The hard part was when you're fulfilling the orders. Obviously, it took a while to figure out where everything is in the warehouse and sorting it separately that way. And then using a pallet jack and then the pallet to, move everything over, kind of figure out how to stack it so nothing falls over. Then you get to saran wrap the whole thing. And it's a big old, huge thing. Um, on some of the orders, they start can be small, but some of them, like there's one that I did for Ankeny that the pallet was taller than I was. So trying to figure out how to stack the pallets up there in the boxes was quite a challenge for me. Um, I think that I personally learned a lot about what they do and how much underserved individuals there are that need a lot of help. You don't really see, like, homeless people or whatever in Des Moines all that often. You occasionally see them standing. I usually see them every once in a while standing at entrances to the freeway with their signs, but you really don't see a whole lot of it because they're doing such a good job that they get people like, the YMCA has the housing programs and stuff like that. Well, these guys, DMARC, with they have the child care assistance and they have housing assistance and a lot of church faith-based compassionate programs that they really help a lot of people out. On top of that, there's a lot of volunteer stuff. Huh? Yes. Um, so my son is crawling on the floor. Sorry. Um, so a lot of some of the other stuff that they do, they just do a really good job meeting these. There's always going to be needs, unfortunately, but with hitting 34,000 people a year, that's huge. So I think I accomplished the objectives that I set out to. I learned a lot from these guys. I really love working with them. The manager, John, is a super nice guy. I was very happy to show us around. Um, I did all of my hours, and I think I did a little bit more. And I honestly wouldn't mind continuing to do it. I really liked doing this project. I really like the physical labor aspect of it, as well as um, meeting all the people, and most of them are volunteers, and learning what they do and who they do it for and the different aspects of this project. Um, with more resources and time, there are other things that I would love to do with this project. I think obviously they need to, like, I never heard of DMARC before this class. So I think one of the big things that they really need to work on is some of their advertising for volunteers. Becoming a volunteer wasn't difficult. I just had to go to their website, um, fill out the volunteer request, and drove on in the next day. I called the main lady for the program and coordinated my hours with her. But when I got there, John was like, "Ah, just come whenever you want, and we'll always have stuff for you to do." So they do have an unlimited amount of stuff that they can do because they get trucks in every day, and people that push donations in on shopping carts. Um, so I think with more time and resources, I think it'd be great to get more people involved, um, and a lot more help. They are strictly volunteers, so their hours are kind of short. I really wish they had some weekend hours. I think if they had more volunteers, they'd be able to get more hours. They're only open like 8 to 4, so if they were open later hours, maybe they could always, get more work done. Um, some other things I would like to do with this community partner with more time and resources, obviously, I'd like to go out to some of the places that they send the donations and just do more, public relations type stuff with them. I'd like to figure out, who they are, what they do, maybe work on their food truck would be really cool. I love cooking, and, I myself in the past have fallen on hard times, and I've used food banks and food trucks, and they really are lifesavers. Um, so having stuff like that, really is just a huge, huge undertaking. And the fact that these guys are so well organized is just amazing to me. Um, I think coordinating with my cohort to get this project done was pretty difficult. We all basically do these online classes because it's more convenient for our schedules. So um, trying to get our, obviously, like with this project here, it was difficult, and we weren't able to actually get together to get it done. Um, but that's okay. So one of the big things that this project also does, they take a lot of expired food, and they donated it as necessary because we all know stuff doesn't actually expire according to the expiration dates most of the time. One of the things that I thought was really funny is when people donate peanut butter, you have to actually screw off the lid to the peanut butter. And actually, my first day there, I found one that someone just dipped their hand in and ate a bunch of the peanut butter. So unfortunately, stuff like that does have to get thrown away, but it's a good learning experience, and they get donations from, it's not garage sales. What's the word? Over states where people have passed away. So people, kids will just put all the food in boxes, and they'll bring it down to DMARC to be donated. So coming up with the idea for doing this one um, wasn't actually terrible, because I've done volunteer stuff in the past, and because I have gotten stuff from food banks and food trucks. I was really interested in doing this project with DWork. Their website was really user friendly, and their people were so great. I was really happy that this is the one that we chose. The work wasn't just like super easy, just kind of sit over there and do your own thing. It was actually a lot of physical hard labor. Um, and we really like the idea of how they stress like the healthy food choices, and they're trying to use those rather than um, some of the canned stuff. Like they have a box for kids that go to their go kids schools for groups of stuff, and they really try to stress giving them the healthier options as opposed to just stuffing it with chocolatey granola bars and gummy bears. We got all kinds of things like Nutri-Grain bars, juice boxes, things like that. So I really like how they have all those options, and they also, I guess with the financial donations that they get, they purchase food that they can send out to their different areas in their food trucks. and they do a really good job of making sure they keep those healthy. Like, I didn't know there were so many different kinds of beans, canned beans. I was like, what? Canned beans with different things in them. I was like, wow, they actually look pretty good too. So um, they do some education stuff. They go to schools and they talk to kids about healthier options as far as food, and of course they have out the faith option as well that they talk to kids about, which I guess is a little bit difficult when it's school stuff, but when as long as they're not like being pushy, they're usually fairly well accepted when they start talking religion in the schools and such. So I really like that as well. Um, let's see. I do think that the servant leader aspect of this was pretty humbling. You learn a lot about how you can't just be in charge of the food and just giving it to people like, here's your stinky sandwich or whatever. You really have to be a humble person to continue to do all the volunteer hours that, like, say, John does, because he's retired, volunteers 8 to 4 every day. He's there every day. He doesn't even take lunches, but he does such a good job leading the warehouse. He leads by example. He helps you out. He's in there doing the work as well. He's not just, sitting behind a desk coordinating and not doing anything himself. So it's really great how much of a good leader that he is for the project. I learned a lot about servant leadership from him. Um, just generally being a nice guy. So, so yeah, that was our service learning project. Um, Kind of hard to get this to go into the 15-20 minutes from doing it by myself, but I just really enjoyed the project, and I think that it'll probably be something that I continue to do. I heard that you can take kids, so I might take my kids to do a little bit of physical labor, teach them a little bit of humility as well, um, about how many things they need to learn. That there are people out there that need help, and you want to be the one to go out there and help them. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast. We're gonna work on our PowerPoint and paper together, um, and then